Happy Friday. A professor I work with asked me to explain the difference between cases that cite a headnote and similar cases that you can find with the West key number system. When I saw that note, I had to make a YouTube video, not only to show off a new haircut, but also on a more serious note, because this distinction helped me win a real-world case. Let's go live and show you now. I'm looking at Commonwealth against Stuckich, a Massachusetts case, and not directly controlling for the Iowa courts that I was practicing in. Specifically, I wanted the Iowa court to rule that information about the investigative process was unnecessary and irrelevant to the issue of the defendant's guilt. So this headnote 8, was very important to me, and I wanted to figure out if there was something that I could cite in Iowa that would control, or whether there was nothing and I could just urge the court to adopt the rule in Stuckich in Iowa. So clicking on that number 8 will take you to that headnote. If you're not seeing the headnotes in 2 columns, what I highly suggest you do is click on this change view button right over there so that your West headnotes are in 2 columns instead of in 1. So if you're seeing it like this, hit change view and you'll see it out like this instead. You'll notice that these headnotes have a number of cases that cite the headnote, and these cases are useful if you're concerned about what does Stuckich mean. What does Stuckich say? In fact, if you hit 4 cases that cite headnote 8, they're all going to be Massachusetts cases for some pretty good reasons, right? We're arguing about the doctrine set forth in Stuckich. So we're arguing about what it means, what it says. So chances are those are going to be in the same jurisdiction. The other issue that comes up here is that because Stuckich was a 2008 case, you're obviously only going to get cases after 2008. You can't cite to Stuckich from the past because it hasn't existed yet. So there may be stuff that's on point on this same issue, but it isn't going to be in those citing references because this case didn't exist yet. Before we move on, I'll point out that you can mouse over these headnotes once more to see what those are about, and you can also get a full list of the citing cases here from citing references. So if you look for headnote 8 again, it will be here. It looks like Mitchell, headnote 8, shows up here as well as along the side in that list of 140 something. Now the cool thing about Houston, which was my case, was that it was about the same issue, but it obviously wouldn't have been in that list of citing references, because why would an Iowa court be concerned about what Stuckich says in a really in-depth kind of way? Well, what you can do here is use those key numbers, specifically any of these along the very precise level, and clicking on into those will give you all of the cases both before and since a case that are talking about the subject. Here in Iowa, there are over 437 needles in the haystack. And you can make that simpler by filtering over here or running a search within results. But if you're in Massachusetts and you don't care about what an Iowa court says, or if you're in Indiana or Ohio, Pennsylvania, you don't care about that, hit the change button. Change to a jurisdiction where you actually do care. And then once you are there, then do that same process of searching and filtering. And what would you get? Kind of show you in reverse here. I ran a search inside Iowa. We'll change to Massachusetts, and I'll search not for a fact pattern, which you could certainly do, right, in an admissible report or conclusion, but for a case name. Our search a little bit simpler. And what you'll see is, lo and behold, the same concept. Official approval of abuse allegations being inadmissible in one jurisdiction, which connects you to cases in another. And so that's what those key numbers do. So to make it easy again in sum, citing references a lot narrower for a narrower purpose. For the broader purpose of all the needles in all the haystacks and limiting that down some more, use those key numbers. Practice, give it some thoughts. Email me, samuel.burbano, that's B-E-R-B-A-N-O @tr.com, or go to lawschool.westlaw.com, click on connect with your account manager over here along the side. Follow me on Twitter at Lindy Hop Lawyer for my in-person availability and the latest and greatest uploads from all the classes that I'm working with. Again, that's at Lindy Hop Lawyer. But good luck with all of this. If you've got questions, drop us a line. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend.